Hello and welcome. And in this video, we are going to be looking at paper 2, where we have English as the second language. This is the paper of the 21st January 2024. Now, if you look at the passage, paper 2, many people think that paper 2. Now, if you look at the passage given in language 2, many people feel that language 2 is easier, but that is not so. Language 2 out here has a huge and a big passage of a very good quality. So I always tell my students that when you are practicing, please practice language, both language 1 and language 2, uh, if you're practicing English or Hindi, because they have the same and sometimes even better quality. So let's look at the answers. So this is the passage. I'm doing paper with code M. So this is the passage that talks about the loss and earnings of farmers and nutrition. So read the following sentences, and what you will have to do is find out whether it is correct or incorrect. So a significant number of Indian households can afford healthy foods. This is incorrect. Household food production has limited impact on food inflation, so no impact actually. And food insecurity is an occasional, so no, it's a perpetual problem. So all three, A and B, C, are incorrect. 122, identify the part of speech, a significant number of households and own consumption. So, a significant is adjective and own is a pronoun. So, this is the correct answer. Complete the word analogy. So, this time 2024, a lot of word analogies have been asked. Word analogies are basically synonyms and antonyms asked in a different manner. So complete the word analogy, local, global. So from small, you're going to big. So erratic means consistent. You're going kind of opposite. So this will be consistent. 124, what is correct about health status of farmers who take household food production? So uh, children are not malnourished. They don't have stunted growth. Women don't have higher body mass index. Women don't have a higher body mass index. They are a normal one. So better nutritional intake is the correct answer. By which word can the underline be replaced? It is pronounced, which means it is noticeable. As mentioned in para 1, what is the series of event? So the series of event, it starts with extreme weather condition, which leads to a food price, increase in food price items, which leads to reduced consumption, and because of that consumption, there's detrimental effect on the nutritional security. So even if you see the words which have been used in the questions to ask the question, this is of a very high quality, of a higher level. So therefore, I again say that do not, when you are practicing your PYPs, do not ignore the language 2 papers for both English and Hindi, because they give you very good practice. 127, some households have remained out of the crisis of food insecurity by adopting, so they have adopted home production systems. Which statement is incorrect with regard to household food production? So food consumption was higher. This is the incorrect statement because the other three are correct. The next paragraph is again a big paragraph, and it is not a very easy. It is of a good level. I won't say it's not easy, but it's not a very simple uh, paragraph for paper two, for language two that we are looking at. So we are talking about a French comedy and these two friends, Philip and Abdul. Let's go on to the questions. So read. We have got the correct incorrect. So Untouchable is a French comedy movie. This is correct. It revolves around two friends who have similar tastes. So their tastes are not similar. So this is not correct. The movie was a huge success in France and Algeria. We don't know about Algeria. They've said France and internationally, but we cannot specifically say Algeria. So A is correct and B and C are incorrect. B and C are incorrect. A is correct. So option number 3 is the correct answer. Again, a word analogy. Luxury is opulence. Sensation is therefore a feeling. We're talking about the same meaning. What bound the two very different men together? So it was not their love for anything, it was just the warm friendship that they served. Why did Philip need a nurse? He needed a nurse to help him with day to day practical things. It is clearly mentioned that. Abdul migrated to France because he had a criminal record, so he was running away from the Algerian police. I can believe the rest was not has not been mentioned. So Abdul migrated to France too. So he had migrated to France to search for employment. It is clearly mentioned there that he had quit his criminal life in Algeria. Let me just show that to you. 1 second. Like who had quit his life of crime in Algeria and he had moved to France to look for work. So he was looking for employment. Which aspect of Abdul's personality is not true? So he had a criminal past record. This is true. He was quick-witted, supportive. He shared a close rapport, so it's true. So he preferred listening to classical music is not true because he preferred pop. Identify the part of speech, working relationship. So it's explaining. So this is an adjective, and quickly is an adverb. So this will be true. 136. Which of the following methods? Okay, so we finished with the comprehension. We are now moving on to the pedagogy. Which of the following methods advocates oral drilling, mastery of the formal properties? So this is audiolingualism. Oral drilling, wherever you are repeating a lot of drill, all that is a part of audiolingualism. So 137, Ilam is a student of class 7. He is able to speak 4 languages. He knows Kannada, Marathi, Hindi, and English. He uses all the 4 languages freely when he speaks to his parents at home, and in school he uses Hindi, Kannada, and English, as these are the languages known to his friends and teachers. So what is he doing? So he is actually translingual ability. This is his translingual ability. He can use the strategy, he can use whichever language that he needs depending on the social strata he's around. This really won't be code meshing or code switching uh, and code adaptation, because he is not changing the language. It's not that he's while speaking to the same person, he sometimes uses Kannada and then moves on to Marathi. He's not doing that. He's not switching or here they've used these new words, meshing and moving. So he's not doing that. So this is his translingual ability. 138, which of the following statement is true of language learning? So the true is that knowledge of the native or the first language supports in the learning of the second language. It is not an interference, and they are not completely distinct or have nothing to do with each other. 139, a teacher of class 6 brought items like spoon, plates. Okay, so these are real life things. These are called realia. This was kind of a standard question in 2018-19. What is declarative knowledge? So declarative knowledge is knowledge just saying that I know this. So if you can pronounce a word, you can procedure knowledge, knowledge about a grammatical. This is a declarative knowledge. Once you can identify an error, that's a procedural knowledge. Knowing how to do is a procedural knowledge. So declarative knowledge is knowledge about the grammatical item. 141, here is a situation where students are exposed to the opposite perspective of the subject under consideration to allow them to further understand it. So what are you doing? You are teaching them critical analysis. This is not process based pedagogy. This is nothing to do with process based. This is not even critical literacy, because literacy is learning how to read, and literacy development. So we are not into literacy. So this is critical analysis. You are just telling them, showing them something which gives an opposite view, so that you children can learn to see things from the other point of view. What is translanguaging? Okay, so it is a pedagogical process of using more than one language as a resource. So the two main word is resource and pedagogical process. This is what a translanguaging is. It is also used by the person who can just change. So it need not always be a pedagogical process only. Basically, when you can switch between languages, that is completely, if you know that certain person does not know Hindi, you can totally switch to English. And if I want to now speak to my हिंदी स्पीकिंग स्टूडेंट्स, फिर मैं इसी एक ही चीज़ को हिंदी में बोलूँगी. ऐसा नहीं कि मैं बीच बीच में इंग्लिश और बीच बीच में इंग्लिश हिंदी यूज करूँगी. सो दैट बीइंग एबल टू चेंज फ्रॉम वन लैंग्वेज टू द अदर depending on who I'm speaking to, that is the ability to use translanguage. That is translanguaging. Okay, which of the following process writing? Okay, these are your steps of writing. So we start with brainstorming. So this is common in all, jotting down the points, jotting down the points. So this is cancelled, this whole thing. Then we will make an outline. Okay, so this is the correct answer. So this is not the correct answer. So you brainstorm, jot down the points, you make an outline, you write a draft, you edit, and you finalize. So that's the process of writing anything. That's the process of writing. Okay. Learners in a class of social science are trying to capture main ideas and make points of lecture. What is this known as? So I'll actually go with study skill. Let's see, it is a cognitive skill, definitely, but I will go with the answer of study skill. Let's see what CTET says, because this is the ability to read or hear a lecture and write down the main points, which is what we do when we do a study skill. 145, here is a question. Read and find out which typology of question. So what kind of a question has been asked? Having read the story, the little of a little girl, you feel moved by her suffering and courage to face the trouble. You write a letter to the little girl. Write the letter in about 120 words. So this is an extrapolative question. Extrapolative question is a question. Extrapolative situations are when you have to imagine what the situation is, and you put yourself in somebody else's place and write or talk or all that. So that is extrapolative. 146, a teacher of class 8 read out text of 5 sentences in English twice and asked her learners to listen to the text carefully. She then asked them to work in groups of 4 to recreate text nearer to the one read out, not exactly to the same. Okay. Uh, okay. What is this known as? So this is paragraph dictation. Basically, instead of dictating one word or one sentence, she is giving an entire paragraph, and they have to remember and uh, write it. So it is definitely a listening and writing task. So these cannot be the answer. It is not collective dictation. It's called a paragraph dictation. This refers to the proficiency in academic language for content area. So this is your CAL, cognitive academic language proficiency. 148 is which of the following is not true of NEP 2020. So study of English as language. So they have spoken about mother tongue, Indian language. They've not identified that English only has to be studied. 149, which of the following is true? Now we are talking about the three language formula, which is true. So they should begin their schooling in their mother tongue, true, and move on to at least two more languages. So wherever any specific language has been mentioned, that is not correct. So it's not state language. They want you to use the mother tongue or regional language. 150, learning outcomes, attempt to enable. So they attempt to enable competencies in measurable terms. It need not be grammatical knowledge, not minimum levels. These are not the minimum levels when you're talking about what will they be competent in, and attain language competence in measurable. So not specifically language competence. So with this, we have come to the end of the paper. All except maths and science. So I don't teach maths and science as yet of paper 2. So all other analysis paper keys, the answer keys have been put up in the playlist. Do go and check it out. If this was useful, do at least put in a like and subscribe to my channel if you're preparing for the CTET. Thank you for watching.